Yeah. I just put out that offer, but I want to welcome you to the 104th annual dinner of the Grand Rapids Lions Club. Pretty incredible, the 104th. I can't tell you that they had this dinner 104 years ago, but it's been 104 years. So, welcome tonight to dinner, and we'd like to start starting with the Pledge of Allegiance. You can all stand. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
And have our chaplain, Diane Antonio, do the invocation.
All the titles I get. It's good to see everyone tonight. Let us join together in a word of prayer. Gracious God, we're thankful for the ways in which you have met us throughout this day. Where there has been unrest, we pray for your peace. Continue to help us find ways to share kindness and love with our neighbors, as well as to enjoy the fellowship that we're being offered tonight. We're thankful for the hands that have been working throughout the day to prepare food for us. May it nourish our bodies and give us strength to share with each other and with the world. We pray all this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Tim. All right, dinner will be coming real fast. So, Chuck, they have the tickets. As we get going, can we take a moment to have a hand for the great wait staff? And, the body members. I think you did a great job. So thank them all. So now we're going to do start this out with a year in review. See how it comes out. Hopefully you're going to hear it. This is 2022 to 2023 year in review.
Wow.
Here's the mic.
This is the hometown of our Lions International President Brian Sheehan. Bird Island, Minnesota, the population of 950. They have 105 Lions Club members.
Wow. Star Club needs about 200,000 people.
This is theme together we can.
Better than together we can't. I'll do that.
Parade is international.
It's the International Parade, International Convention.
When's it last year? This year it's in Boston.
You look closer, you're gonna see Cheryl in this crowd.
I was already there. I was already there.
President Bryan was our speaker at our 100th anniversary down at Twin Row. Remember that? And just a great leader and totally out of the box guy. So looking at our year, I first want to welcome our new members. Tim was our new chaplain Saturday night, Tim Tuthill, and Linda Zizos is back. She took a little hiatus. Thank you very much tonight.
Her sister's sick.
Hmm?
Her sister's sick and
Our
Bart.
sister's sick and out of town, so she couldn't be with us tonight. She wanted to, but she's back and she'll be back in full force. So very happy for that. And then we lost a few members. Craig Noble, our past 38 years of being a Lion. You remember Craig well when he was still healthy enough to be at meetings. He was our secretary for 20 years. Maybe not close to that, right, Kim? I think you turn it over to him. And he was our historian. So much the historian that I went to his house to collect all of the stuff. Okay. You're all going to be, each of you are probably getting some pictures that were taken of you at some event, because there was boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. And he had it all very organized from all the way back from the that he had inherited from the 40s, some stuff. So we may put that up and show you that sometime. So Craig has passed and we miss him. John Aller just passed away in May and was she became a Lion because of the mission trip. Here she is in Jamaica and she loved it. She was a recycling, she absolutely loved it. And that was her passion. When she passed, she asked for donations to the club designated division. So we're gonna miss her. Keep Tim in prayers. I invited Tim to come tonight, but he couldn't make it. So we'll see if we can get him back and we can get him in the Lions Club. So what happened during our year? Lunches. Twice a month, we had a lunch and with speakers. And our great speaker committee, Mark Oberlin, Shelley Oberlin, not sure you didn't know, that's not your daughter. Okay, that's your first one. Shelley Oberlin, Bob Snyder's, who did I miss? Lynn Francis, and other people that contributed, right? So our first was Lynn Costumas, Kent County Clerk, talked about elections, which was great. Gave us a little confidence that they were being run well. Affordable housing in Grand Rapids. Steve Kelso talking about communications and Kent County Health Department. I forget about the virus he was talking about. And then the BAMF Center, Cancer Center. When I read BAMF, it brought something else to mind, right? And so I asked the doctor when he was there, and it stands for Bold Advanced Medical Future. And it exists in the Doug Meyer Innovation Center. Great. It's the only one right now in our country like that. Casey Guttner is showing us how the phone app for blind shopping. Kathy and Mark Oberlin, the Africa and South Africa trip. And I put Kathy first because we know she did all the work in putting those pictures together. Okay, what you have, 5,000 pictures that you pare down, something like that. And then first of the year, we had the Grand Rapids Police Chief Eric Winstrup. Very interesting. He'll be back to he will be our first speaker in January again. He's committed to doing that. So he's coming back. Rick Baker, the president and CEO of the Grand Rapids Chamber of Commerce, and Jill Fry, and hydroponics. And it was good I wasn't there, but I heard you get a great presentation on the hydroponics. A few others, Dr. Paul Isley, GDSU, current and future economics, always interesting. That's great stuff to say. Our District Governor Diane Webby, which kind of prompted us into the Sleep and Heavenly Peace project, building beds. When I heard of Sleep and Heavenly Peace at first, I thought it was cremation services. But I was happy to find out that we're building beds. And the need for beds is, we'll talk about that later. Bridget Benser talking about franchising. I thought she was going to talk us into it, but no. Some good advice on whether you should do it or not do it. And she's really a consultant. And then Adam, myself, and Cheryl gave a presentation on our mission trip to Nairobi, Kenya, where we did 3,500 eye exams. They were planning on doing 1,500, but somehow they brought in more people.
That's amazing.
I counted them up, it was 3,500. Students honors luncheon, and Ryan Smith did a great job putting that together along with Cheryl. Thank you for that. We had 8 high schools attend, which was a record. For those that were there at that event, those kids were great. We had a packed room. And we held it earlier in the year so they could be there. We held it in April, because they kind of graduate in May. And we're going to do that again next year. Then our final one was Mary DeBoer, her new book on grieving. Didn't talk at all about the weather, just about grieving. And I probably missed a couple, Mark, but this was kind of the list that I dug out. And then the big thing this year, service. Our service committee chairs, Shara Eby and Kelly Phelps. We're on the Sheriff's County. Challenge them to do one service project a month. Okay? Because you know what drives people is hands-on service. Now, we're pretty good at raising money, but when you do hands-on service, people get enthused. And especially when you get to see the people that you help. And so we had a good number of projects. Eyeglass recycling, we brought that back since COVID restrictions have changed. And the committee, headed by Scott over there, is we're giving it a good try to see how much interest there is in continuing to do the recycling, which is the fuel that is the fuel that fuels the mission trips. Without the recycling right now, we cannot do a mission trip because we don't have anything to give them. So when you see a notice that we're recycling on a Tuesday night, another day, please respond. We need people. We need them to do that. We have a trip coming in, and thanks to Gail. Thanks, Gail Janad, where
Back there.
Gail, who's been driving that and doing an incredible job of delivering reading glasses around the city. You know, we can't use prescription recycled glasses in Michigan because they have to be provided within a certain parameter, a certain percentage. We can't use them here. But readers, she puts in homeless shelters, dégagé, all these different places in the image, and people come and they go through them and they pick them off the rack themselves. We don't prescribe them, they pick them. And they get to do a job and do something up close that they weren't able to do because they can't afford them, they can't get them, they don't have access to them. So that's made a huge difference just here in Grand Rapids, what Gail has done in the committee in terms of getting those reading glasses out to places in the city. So there's the center back again working. We had a bunch of lines from Rockford. And then there is the man who does all the packing. Where's Jamie? There's Jamie. You know, when we put all this stuff together and without getting it packed and shipped, that's not just the glasses we take, but mostly the glasses that we don't want that we send to California. Incredible job. Food packing. We did a couple different projects with food. So here is packing boxes. See a couple people. Is Randy here? And Bob was going to be here tonight, but he's not here. His bandage was bothering him on his leg. Shara and the rest of them, and that's the final product there on the right side. That pallet is packed and ready to go. And Shara and Kelly, does that go out of the country or is that in the US? Remember? It's in the US. Kent County.
Right.
Okay, so that. Meals on Wheels for seniors in Kent County. Thank you. So we're doing the service right here in our community. Water filters. How many people have been to water filters? Thank you. Pretty cool. You look at that little blue filter, the little thing there. That's the filter over there on the, I can't get over that far. On the top there, the white thing, that filter goes in and it's It's cleanable and reusable. It's not something that has to be replaced when it's dirty. You pack them, you put them in, you twist it tight, you do a few simple things, and that's the final product. You get a bin of those, and that little filter, you can, who was at the meeting where they hooked it up to the muddy, crummy sewage water, and it drains out the other side of the filter, you can drink it. Okay, it takes out 99.9% of the bacteria. It doesn't take out chemicals, so it doesn't do chemical cleaning. But if you get water out of a river, or you get it out of, you know, peeing upstream and you're taking it downstream, it's gonna take all the bacteria out. It happens, right?
We've been there.
How often do you pee upstream?
We've been there.
I pee upstream a lot.
Just not, that's good to know. Just not into the wind.
Here's the grandkids. Scott brought his grandkids. I think they had a good time, didn't they, Scott? Yeah, so, again, we're looking for projects that you can bring family members to. Holiday shopping, again, a great, I think this is our 30th year of holiday shopping. This year, we did not have any vision impaired kids, but we had, and how many? 36 children, and they each had how much money to spend? 125? Something like that, $125 to buy gifts for their family member. They couldn't buy gifts for themselves. It was over 100. So we're shopping out there with them. You get lined up with a kid. They have their shopping list, but they've already gone online and checked beforehand. And they come up with the list, and then we do all the wrapping in the room, and they take it all home. Grace's Table. This is for pregnant young mothers that don't have food and don't have diapers.
Use resources in general, they can go for counseling, they can go for meals, they can
So pretty much, it's pretty much single young mothers. Yep, and here they made a meal and they provided diapers for them. Sleep in Heavenly Peace, again, not cremation services, but building beds. It's amazing the number of children that are sleeping in Grand Rapids on floors. I never thought that, okay? And the need is tremendous. They had this day to build, and we asked people to sign up. Brent and Rick kind of led that. And I thought we were gonna have to bring in our own tools. We worked with Sleep in Heavenly Peace, has their own foreman. They bring in the tools. The wood is already milled and cut, so we don't have to do any of that. We basically sand, drill, and then assemble. And
One coming up.
they thought their previous high in terms of building beds was 20 beds. Our group, and there was more from the district, our club there, we built 60 beds in 3 hours.
They have one coming up.
What do you know? So there's Gene using her sander. And Don, Jacob, and Lynn over there doing your assembly. They were great with the power drill. Power screwer, actually, wasn't it? Power screwdriver. And John doing some more sanding, and then they dyed it. They stained everything out there, so it had some nice color. Rick there stapling on. Bob again doing some stapling. And then that was the group. So about a quarter of the group had already left. But that's all who was there. Again, we have the date coming up June 10th. Another Saturday in the same place. All the equipment's there. You basically walk in and they direct you what to do. It is so nice because if it's an assembly, it's like a mission trip. It starts from the beginning and then it all gets through. So you can shift from one job to another. Kids food basket. Packing food for kids again. The ladies there with their hairnets and the team. So when you look at what we did this year, and this really doesn't have the total numbers, 7,239 people served, 44 activities and 1,070 volunteer hours. And I'm sure we missed some, but that just gives you kind of an idea of what we're doing in service. Social holiday party, which was great. The Griffins game. Where's Kim? Thanks for making that happen. And who else?
Mike Smulligan?
Mike Smolensky.
Smulligan.
Mike Smulligan also donated some tickets to make that happen. So thank you for that. Our summer picnic, Rob just announced to me, will be at the Brady's
Oh.
Carol, on your list. And you maybe even able to walk down. What's that? You moved already? You moved already. We don't have a date yet. You'll hear about that. And Scott and Mary have committed to that. Maybe afterwards they'll be committed again. But we can always walk down the road to the EVs. Rob,
Sometime in July, we'll confirm with the Brady's and we'll get announcements out.
would that be a Saturday or a Sunday?
Whenever the Brady's will allow us.
Okay. The whole weekend.
Sleep over.
Okay. Build some beds. So our fundraisers, Drive for Vision, Fine Dinner Day, and our foundation. Like most years, we collect about $100,000. And we give every penny out. Okay, which is, there is no other service organization that can say that they give out 100% of what they take in. So we are unique. And then the funds are spent, the Vision Clinic. We do 9,000 to 10,000 eye exams a year and provide glasses for everybody that needs it. That number is not included in the number of people that we serve. Because we don't know exactly how many, but that's how many are done at our clinic that we helped build when we raised $823,000 10 years ago. And it's ongoing. We don't get to see it all the time, but they're going back into the schools this year with the van that they have, and they're doing eye exams in the schools for kids that fail, and they'll be able to buy glasses right on site for them. So that's because of the funds that we put in there, that if they come in and they can't afford even the copay, our funds pay for the copay. ABBI, Tim, yep. Numbers I had was 250 low vision visits a year, 250 to 300. It might be higher, and
Do a few more than that. We appreciate your support.
well, I'm just saying that's probably the amount that we help fund. Okay, with the money that we put in there, you do. I thought you do 1,000. We do 1,000. They do 1,000 a year. I'm looking at what we help fund.
Oh.
So thank you for that. Leader Dog, Eversight, which is the iBank, LCIF, Lions Clubs International Foundation, which is our foundation. Every member in this room that's a Lion is a member of the foundation. Bear Lake Camp, Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services, Pause with the Cause, Michigan Lions All-State Band, which is a band that is formed in the spring and it performs at the International Convention. And it is all kids. It's fun. The kids have to raise their own money to go, which is usually a couple $1,000, but they will be marching in the parade, playing in front of the Michigan delegation, and they perform at separate events at the International Convention. Opportunities unlimited for the blind and the holiday shopping. Some of probably missed a few. That's some of where that $100,000 that we collect a year goes to. Oh, more stuff.
Oh, no.
Back to President Brian.
I'm Lions International President, Brian Sheehan. How are we driving our clubs forward, you ask? With the traditional project, it is something new. Thanks, Laurie. It's riding the wave of technology and connecting it to what we do. Hi, Allie. Our mission is to put our heads and our hands together in order to reimagine service. It means welcoming rookies and their ideas. Communication. Clear vision. We can do anything. We can reinvent wheels on wheels. There you go. You betcha. Come up with a new way to combat global warming. Together, we can raise more for our foundation. And build a more inclusive world. Together, we can rethink, rebuild. We can open up more clinics and more parks. Reach more borders, take hands with our neighbors. Mission this year is to innovate, team up, and have fun.
$1.4 million running for the wheels.
I'm going into international ones.
No, no.
That's what President Lee said was, service drives us, have fun, and make friends, right? You look at this room and all the friends we have. It's incredible. Thank you all for being here tonight. So let's go to the next step, which is the Lions Board. Can I have all the board members come up here? Van Evie, Kyle is not here. Jeff Cry, Cheryl, John Rice, Jamie, Colleen Mulder is not here. Thaddeus Adams, Jason is not here. Joe and Drew. Yeah, Bob, can you flip the lights up back there? Let's see what works. Great, thanks. So this has been your, again, we're missing Kyle. We're missing
Colleen.
Colleen, and we're missing Jason. This has been your board this year for the Lions Club year 2022-23. I want to thank you all for the great job you did. The board meets every month. Executive board meets 1 month, and then the full board meets the second month. We do it all by Zoom. We don't have any in-person meetings. So the meetings go pretty quick, pretty organized. The great secretary has stuff sent out ahead of time. And we aren't surprised by anything, so we can get it done. And you can do it in your house, in your office, in your car. We've had it done just about everywhere. It gets it done. So in the future, if somebody says, hey, we'd love you to be on the board, we'd love you to serve in an office, it doesn't take a lot of extra time. Hardly any extra time. If you're gonna eat lunch, we do it during lunchtime. So it's on a Tuesday during when we often have our meetings. So I want to retire a couple of our board members. First, I'm gonna retire Drew. And Drew is retiring for another reason. If I can have Drew sit down and thank you for your he really has 2 years left, but we're forcing him to quit. And Thaddeus, wait, before I say, bring Thaddeus up, Colleen Mulder is also retired. Colleen couldn't be here tonight, and she's been a great board member, been super active with our drive-through vision. Her connections in the drive-through vision have really made it go. Without Colleen's connections in Grand Rapids ophthalmology and what she's driven in terms of all the sponsorships that she can put her arm on and bring those people in for sponsors from their suppliers, really drove the drive-through vision. Colleen is no longer employed by GRO. I don't know if she's retiring fully or she's going to find another position, but I haven't heard from her yet. But her time up is on the board now, and she chooses not to serve another term right now. So you see her, thank her, and we look forward to having her back at the meeting. And finally, not finally, but next. I was talking about Colleen. You can't get off that quick. But that is the name of the board. Thaddeus was instrumental in our creation of the pride teams. Okay, and all of you were contacted by that. So I want to thank him for that. It was a new idea and was instrumental in that. And ever present and ever contributing. So Thad, thank you for that. And thank you also for bringing Kelly to the club. So it's all team. I appreciate it. And you know what? When you get off the board, there's new hats to wear. Right? There's new stuff to do. So we don't find more things for you to do. Okay? Thank you for being here. Finally, the toughest one who's retiring. No, that's all. Is that Jeff Cry? Jeff has served the club as the treasurer since 1995. Okay, and before that, who was our treasurer? Tom Murphy. So you hand it over to him. You want to come back? We may have Tom back again. Okay, when he slows up with his office a little bit more. But right now, Jeff is retiring, and we have a few things for him. And if you've been on the board, Jeff is incredible as a treasurer because he follows the rules as far as they can be bent. And I mean that as a company. He knows what's right, okay, and he knows where to push it. It's still right, okay. And the funds all go in the right spot. We have two funds. We have our activities fund, which is our club dues, right?
The general fund.
The general fund, which is our club dues, but which operates us as a club. And then we have our charities. And everything that comes into charities has to stay there. It cannot fund our dues. That's illegal. And he keeps those separate, and he's meticulous about it, and does a phenomenal job, has done forever. But he gives us ideas on how we can do things a little better. And always has the history. You know, we did this before, and this happened, and this happened. And he's always there with our Lions history, and has done an incredible job. So, Jeff, I want to thank you. I actually have a couple things for you. We have a plaque for you, which I know everybody wants a plaque.
Yeah.
Right now, all the plaques at Lions International, they changed suppliers, so all the plaques are delayed. And you have a plaque coming, which I know you don't really care about, but this you did.
I want to best.
This is a small thank you from the club, which you can open later.
Oh, man.
Okay, but what you have, that'll be even better. Have a rack
Oh.
of golf clubs. You can't.
These are loose, we can move
But these are Callaway's, and they're being signed by all the members.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so now if anybody hasn't signed Jeff's balls yet. I want you to stop after this.
They're signed in unerasable stuff.
It's not permanent, and you can use them because you're gonna have 4 dozen balls, okay? So this only holds 24, and this is also a gift from Jim Dare, who made this personally for you.
Wow.
So. Let's see if you can hold it without.
You're dropping your balls.
So Jeff, I'm gonna let you sit down gingerly, okay? "28 years, just incredible." So, now we have our current, this is the leftovers from the board. Fortunately, you get me for another year. Kyle, whose daughter was sick, would have been here tonight, but he called the last minute as a sick child. And that's always the most important, so he is not here. Cheryl will be our secretary again. She wanted to bang out, but I wouldn't let her. I'll talk about her later. And then John Rice, our membership chair, and our Univeris
Awesome.
editor. He does an incredible job, and it's out, it's timely. He's reminding me a week ahead of time, Gary, I need your notes, Gary, I need your notes. He's phenomenal, so organized. You know, I'm gonna be like him when I grow up. Then I'd have to grow up. And chairman of the board, man, you still got another year. All right. Adam Carlson, Adam, great news is you got a whole other year. And Jason, who's not here, also has another year. Joanna Reno. There's Joe, and thank you, Joe, for your input. Joe's always got something to ask, always got something good to say and ask. We appreciate your input because you drive us old guys. Okay. And True.
You made him sit down.
That's right. So now what do we do with our vacancies, right? And then I forgot. Our chaplain, Tim Tuthill, so thank you for taking that. And that is a position that we've had unfilled. So we're really happy to have you here, because they're tired of having me and Ed say the invocation. Okay, so thank you.
What was Chuck Fry?
It was Chuck Fry. Chuck Fry was our last chaplain. And unfortunately, Chuck is gone. We miss him a lot. So our new incoming directors, and I have Ann Barrett, past president Ann Barrett. And badges for you too, and secretary, she's got everything. And Jim Schuyler.
Come in.
He was already been real active in the Bryant dinner date and chairing that, and also a real driver, so we're looking forward to his input. And filling out the term of just retired Drew will be Bob Younger. So Bob, thank you. So Bob, the bad news is you only have 2 more years, okay? So I'm gonna give you some name badges just a second. We just get an open line. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll collect them before you go.
Well,
Yeah. Mr. James. And Mr. James.
I don't know, but it was somewhere. We'll find it.
We'll find it.
We'll
Oh,
find it.
it's underneath. It's underneath just.
What do you think?
Sorry.
Didn't work all, hold up there.
Nice.
This is a big boss here.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's that. Was that or that is? So again, his choice. And now I'd like to announce our new treasurer, Drew Wessel.
Yay.
Hold on. Thank you. Request, if anybody was interested in treasure stuff, which Jeff's done that for 27, 28 years. And we all look at our replacements. If Jeff wants to do a little more golf, and he's got another grandchild coming. So I know he's gonna be spending more time with his grandkids. And Drew popped up and said, hey, I had this kind of position before. I'm interested in doing this. I'd love to be involved. And so he's worked with Jeff already and learned a lot. And Jeff will be there in the background, which will be well appreciated. So thank you for taking that. It's not an easy position to fill without breaking an arm, and you just came forward. So thank you for that. So this is your 2023-24 board of directors. So congratulations. Great. Now we're just going to honor some years of service. Also, we don't have the pins that go with it because our district governor has them in her basement, can't find them. Okay, so.
That's a true story.
I call your name if you stand up. This is for 5 years of service. Joanne Reno. Hey, Joe. Well, just stand up. I don't want to wear you out walking up here. Okay, also Randy Hamster, if you see Randy. 10 years of service, I can't believe already, Sheriff Evie. Dr. Sheriff. So you have to stay standing. Stand up. Stand up. Okay, because I remember, stand up. When you became members was because of a mission trip. Okay, and if I remember correctly, there was a large bottle of tequila involved, Gail. So look what happens when you go on a mission trip. They became mine because of that. You've done a great job. Thank you. 20 years of service already, and Bear. Yeah. Good. You've been around for 20 years.
Did not make sense.
I didn't get that.
You thought it was longer? 25 years of service. City attorney. 25 years of service. Jim Kaiser. Oh. Good to have you back more. 30 years of service. Tom Dandridge. Now we're getting in the big time. 45 years of service. Lynn Francis. And our senior member in terms of years of service, 55 years, Keith Crichton. I'm going to turn it over to Lynn, the foundation, Lynn and Pat, and you can, whatever you're going to do. All right? With Pat, Boston.
I want to tell you about the largest contributor.
That's what I was instructed.
Wow, okay. I want to tell you about the largest contributor to the Lions Activity Fund. And this contributor has never attended a meeting and has never paid dues. And of course, it's the Lions Club Foundation. Presently, we stand at a total amount invested of $1,100,000. Would be a little bit more if their stocks weren't down about 10–15%. We take 5% of the earnings every year out of this fund, and it goes to the Lions Activity Foundation, and is combined with the money, other funds that are raised during the year by the Lions Club, such as the golf outing, etc. So there's over 20 different organizations that the board of directors direct this money to every year. And so we're probably one of the largest clubs because of that contribute the largest amount of funds probably around. So I wanted to tell you about one Lion, and that is Carl Showalter. A lot of us will remember that. He was a long time member. I'm not sure how long, maybe 60 years, but he was long. He was 102 years old, I believe, when he died.
Yep.
And he was still coming to meetings. A number of us, several of us, would come and pick him up, bring him up to the meeting. And several of us would also take him out to lunch. He loved the Schnitzelbank and the what's that hamburger place that he liked. he was extremely hard of hearing. Because of that, he had to talk very loud. And because of that, he talked very loud. So he would always sit, it seems like, in the back of the room. And when a speaker was speaking and it became like 1:30, and I always told my speakers, I said, at 1:30, you turn into a pumpkin. You better end it up. Well, Carl was back there, and if it went over 1:30, he would say in a very loud voice, "Why is that guy speaking so long?" And it was quite embarrassing for the rest. The speaker ended it up pretty fast. So one day I had Carl out to lunch, and I said, "I wanted to talk to you about the Lions Club Foundation." And of course, they said, "What? Foundation? I don't know anything about any foundation." And I said, "Yeah, the foundation." He said, "I'm not building any houses this year." And about that time, I just sort of gave up. And said, this is a dead issue. I'm not going there anymore. So when Carl died, he left $100,000 to the club. So he had me completely bamboozled. But it just goes to show what a legacy that you can leave the money to the club foundation. It will never be spent, and only the earnings return back to the club for our charitable organizations. Thank you.
Thanks, Lynn. To continue what Lynn started many, many years ago, as you all know, on the 100th anniversary of the club, we started the Second Century Club and asked many of you to consider contributions for it, with the promise that when we got to the annual meeting every year, we'd recognize those people that had made significant donations for future donations, and that's what it's here tonight. Kim and I started up the capital campaign and asked many of you to help out. And I want to start today with just mentioning those that have made commitment to the Legacy Fund. And the Legacy Fund is exactly what Lynn was talking about with Carl Showalter, when he made the commitment in his will, in his estate, to leave money on to the Lions Club Foundation. And I hope I don't miss anybody here. If I do, please let me know. So far, people we've heard that have made that commitment of $25,000 or more from their estate include Gary and Cheryl Anderson, Mark and Kathy Oberlin, Rick and Cindy Walker, Scott and Mary Brady, Lynn and Vicki Francis, Kim and Pam Gary, Kathy and I, John and Ashley Rice, and Ed and Karen Tower, and Rick and Mary Stevens. So a round of applause for those people. Anybody that has otherwise made adjustments to their own wills or estate planning that includes the Lions Club, let me know so we can have you on the list for future years. You may also remember another part of that campaign was the lifetime giving amounts. And every year, again, we promise to recognize those who contributed $25,000 or more during their lifetime. And those people include Mark and Kathy Oberlin, Rick and Cindy Walker, Scott and Mary Brady, Kim and Pam Gary, Kathy and I, and Ed and Karen Tower. But this year, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to say that we have 3 new members to this $25,000 lifetime commitment. And I want to pull out the, well, it's a poll, but it's what we have. But in recognition of that type of a lifetime commitment, in addition to their legacy commitments. Let me grab those and then ask those people to come forward. Okay, first off and appropriately, the man who started the foundation, Lynn and Vicki Francis. Okay. And the next one, obviously very appropriate as well, someone who's done a great deal for this club and a great deal for the international club, Gary and Cheryl Anderson. Thank you. Here.
Ice cream later.
Bowl movement.
Fill with bourbon.
He said perfect.
And I do have boxes to pick. Okay, the third and last one for the new contributors to the lifetime contribution, Rick and Mary Stevens.
Thanks.
Our goal.
Drop the mic.
Our goal in the campaign was to get the foundation up over $1 million, and we more than exceeded that. And even though the market's down like it's been down in the last year, we're still well in excess of that number. So my thanks to all of you, and you know where the money's going. So thank you.
Turn.
So it's fine. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Lynn. Again, when you think of the foundation, whether it's our international foundation, or our club foundation, I think that, you know, when I'm on earth, I can do so much. I want it to keep being done when I'm gone. And that's what the foundation is all about. So thanks for your direction. I don't know of any other club in the country that has a foundation like ours. So when I hear about what we have, it's incredible. So congratulations to forming it and for everybody that contributes. And there's a portion of what we earn in fundraisers. Am I correct, Jeff?
10%.
10% of what we take in a fundraiser goes into the foundation. So it's a way for perpetuity to keep going on. So thank you all. So now we're going to hand out a few awards because I know it's getting late. You're tired of hearing me.
Yes.
Yes, dear. Pam Van Overloof, where are you? Can I have you come up here? Okay. Well, you're not done till you're done.
Rip the tape off.
Do you remember this?
Yes.
This is the Joe Trenshaw Rookie of the Year Award. Who in here remembers Joe Trenshaw? The Dynamo. He's been gone, shoot, at least 25 years, maybe 30. He was just a Dynamo. He designed this award and engraved the graphic, and his son Michael still is running that business a little bit. So every Rookie of the Year is on here, including you. And this is the one-year take-home award. You just have more things to do now that you're not a rookie anymore. So the Rookie of the Year, we look at the last 2 years. So it's not just a really one-year award, it's 2 years of their membership. Once they join for the 2 years after that. And this year's award, and I'm going to let you present it to you and pass it over, is going to Jim Schuyler.
Get up there.
Give a little call.
Got it.
As I said, Jim has been very involved and active and has taken over the blind dinner date and has done a phenomenal job and has just been gung ho. So thank you, congratulations. It's a lot of great names on there and we're looking forward to all the things you bring to the club. You're welcome. Yeah, you have you up here.
Everyone's done.
Oh, we did. We missed one of the service projects, which is the transportation. Can you explain that right now?
Well, I
I
don't,
didn't have any pictures on it.
I have several of the drivers in the audience here that I'd like
Yeah,
to thank.
talk to this.
I'd like to thank all the drivers that are in the audience here too, for the transportation service, everyone. Gary, forgot to mention that, so it's near and dear to my heart. I just wanted to make sure it was recognized, and I recognize all the drivers here too. Thanks.
Who are the drivers? Can they stand up? Anybody who's driven? Or
Yeah.
picking up people?
Only driven one.
Joe and
If
Rita.
you go even once.
Met you yet.
Oh, that's Joe.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys.
I apologize. I looked at on the calendar for all the stuff that's listed on the pictures and, we don't have any pictures of that. So phenomenal job. It's, when you get really old, you have cavities in my brain. So the line of the year is a award for outstanding service in a year. And it is just 1 year. It's not a lifetime award. And Kathy was the recipient last year, again, for her creation of the transportation, which has been a great asset. You have to look up the number of hours and all that stuff that's been done on that. We publish that. So you have an idea of how many people get taken somewhere, whether it's shopping or a doctor's appointment, because of you, the drivers that will pick them up and take them. Take time out of their day. And sometimes it's not real convenient, is it, Rob? Sometimes you get some ordinary people, right? But you keep persevering and you keep taking them and you get them there, right? And we can always use more. So if you have some time, and it doesn't have to be on a regular schedule, respond to that. Hey, we need drivers. What's the best way for them to know when there's a need?
Let me know. Copy by email.
So maybe we should post that on the website.
So
So,
easy. She sends out a form, and if you can do it, you do it. If
Right.
you can't, you can't.
so that goes out, we'll send that out to the whole club. We need a driver. Okay, Cheryl can send it out because she doesn't have enough things to send out.
Can do that. I can do that.
So today we get to present 2 lines of the year. And we're gonna cut to the chase and call up here Kelly Phelps and Shara Ely. And as you know, they've led the service team this year and last year and have done an incredible job. And it's now the time to put out an ad. They need some help. Okay, we have a lot of ideas and I'm going to ask for anybody that has ideas on service to put them forward to the committee. You might have a certain passion for something that we're not doing. It might be childhood cancer. It might be something else in hunger. It might be some specific thing. It was building beds. Okay, and we'd like you to be a part of the committee. That means you don't have to run the committee. But like we did with the build a beds folks, hey, we can say, here they are, part of that, let's do it. So if you have an idea, they're happy to help coordinate it, but they can't be at everything. Okay, we always need a lion to be there, to be in charge of the event. We need a team leader when we're doing something. So if you have an interest, whatever it is, bring it to us. We want to know. So it doesn't have to be something that we're already doing. Bring it to us. So congratulations. Thank you. Thank you very much. And this one, Tim, is volunteering to design a committee also. So he's also stepped in with both feet and volunteered for all kinds of stuff. Thank you, Tim. Melvin Jones Fellowship, can I ask Ann to come up here? Because last year we presented a fellowship to Ann. I found out through Lions International, that she had already received one, though she didn't know it, from the Hudsonville Lions Club in 2015. They were so happy with all that she had done as the zone chair and working with them, that they ordered and donated. The Melvin Jones Fellowship is awarded to a deserving lion or non-lion for $1,000 donation in their name. Okay, so it's $1,000 to our Lions Clubs International Foundation, which will, always be $1,000. And so a fellowship is awarded. They said she's already got that award, and so they sent us the pin for a progressive fellowship with a diamond on it. So I called Lions International. They said, "What's going on? We wanted the plaque." They said, "Hudsonville has the plaque." Hudsonville's been defunct since 15. It's in somebody's garage. Okay, they never presented it to her. Lions International is making her one, and she will be getting that original plaque. But you also get your one that we really should have given you last year, but we didn't know you had deserved your second.
Note to self.
Tonight, we're going to give out 2 Melvin Jones Fellowships. And again, this is from the club. It's in result of $1,000 donation of the club in your name, the Lions Clubs International Foundation. And we're giving out 2. The first one, even though it has Cheryl's name on it, will be in
They're
the
so
name.
far behind. So
Huh?
LCI is so far behind. with
They're
those-
behind on plaques. Okay.
So far.
I think they're made in China. I don't know what's going on in China. Is to Gail Janai.
Glad to stay. Yeah. I think you can read- you read my name? Oh, you can read my, put your,
And Gail has, as you know, done a phenomenal job, provision missions and recycling, and just has a passion for helping those in need. Clothing, beds, you name it, and she's involved in providing it. And I've got some beds in my garage that we can put some, okay? Okay, so
well
for the
deserved.
refugees.
Well deserved.
And the other one, which is incredibly well deserved, if I don't break it, is being presented to Jim Baird.
Get closer. Okay, you're Gary and you're Cheryl. There we go.
No, should be.
Good enough. Good enough. Get close. All right. I won't get close. Okay.
Jim's kind of the quiet guy, but he does everything, and incredible. So thank you, and super well deserved.
They didn't tell me.
You don't get to know those things.
Had to get you here.
They're here.
Had to get you here. We knew you were coming.
So again, shirts in the back. The other thing is the club had decided, the board had decided that the club will pay for $15 towards each of those shirts that you order. So they're gonna help offset those costs, help offset us, because we're getting vested, not investing. So we're gonna offset the cost for each of those shirts purchased by $15. Jeff says we have the money. We'll check with you, Drew, if we still have the money after he's done.
Sure, Walter was a member for 66 years.
Carl Showalter was a member for 66 years.
Look it up.
Oh,
And Hey, I got 36 years to go.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to Ed and Jim for helping us set up. I'm getting there. Thanks, man. The Henry Vogt Award, which is the outstanding service and leadership award given by the club, had been voted on, and we have a great deserving recipient, but he couldn't be here tonight. So I'm not telling you who it is, and it's a he. That's all I'm going to tell you. So we are going to present that to him at the first club meeting in September. All right, so we've chosen that award. That award is chosen by the past presidents, and it's pretty much
Lifetime.
it's a lifetime achievement award. Yes, Henry Vogt was our first club president. So we get trivia. What year did our club start? Our club, what? 1919. Okay, that's a little penguin from President Bryan. You ask why the penguins in that video and all the penguin stuff? Penguins on my socks. Again, he lives in Bird Island, Minnesota, population of 950. There's no water there. There's no island. They have their own navy, but there's no water. So they wanted to have a bird, and they picked a penguin. And so you come into town, and there's a 30-foot tall penguin here in their town. So he had his own farm that had alpacas, and he wanted a camel, his wife wouldn't let him. They had kangaroos and all kinds of stuff. So just a fun, crazy guy. So here's the toughest question. We have an international president from our club. Does anybody know that? No, international president.
International.
Sure, you can't answer
I'm
this. You know the name.
Better tell him.
Okay, it was 1924, John S. Noel. So we actually have an international president from the United States. Go to headquarters, his picture's up there. I'll put it in the new.
Yeah.
What president of the United States was a member of our club? You said it first.
Bob did, Snyder.
Bob Snyder, and his brother was Jim Ford, who was really an active member for 50 years, optometrist. So I want to say thanks again to Ann and Jim for the help. Thanks for Cheryl for putting this whole thing together. She did all of this, put it all together, organize it. You know, yeah, there's something outside the door on the floor there. Could you grab it? Outside that door, can you come and grab it? Go out and grab it. So, just in closing, because I know we're late, you know, we think about what we do in service and the meetings and all that, but just think about what Lions Club does for us. That's not it. To the left side. The Lions Club does for each one of us. When you think about hardships you make, you know, it really crosses all the borders of politics and food and faith and religion. And, you know, when you make a difference in somebody's life, the difference that it makes in doing that. So just think about that when somebody says what it is to be a Lion. It's not just what we do for others, but what it does for us. So, Cheryl, I wanted to thank you. Here's some flowers because you put on the scene for a whole year. She does an incredible job. She said, I can't be the secretary of the president. And I said, why?
Oh.
You're speaking with the president. It doesn't make any difference. The breathing's in between us. There's nothing in between. You know, the dog's in between us. So
7 pounder.
7 pounds. She's well protected, but
Yeah.
thank you for all you do. I know you all get the emails and everything else. Thank you for everything in the club. We have a summer picnic. We have a goal of trying to do a summer service project if we can, and we can do something with families involved. So we're looking at that. We're coming up with ideas. We get something, you'll hear about it. So we're going to have a meeting. Anybody who's interested in serving on the service committee, let me know. Let Cheryl, let Kelly know. And a few of you I've already called. I'm trying to call everybody in the club to find out what you like, what you don't like. what you'd like to do, what you don't want to do, okay? And you can tell that to me personally, I won't take it the wrong way. So we're looking for keeping everybody involved. So we're just looking for your passion, so bring your passion. And we're also trying to expand the social stuff. Rob and Kim are doing that, right?
And
And Ann and Jim's involved with everything, and Ann is. So we're looking at more social activities that we can just bring people to and say, you guys and ladies have a lot of fun, don't you? We did it at the Griffins game. That was a great time. So last thing I'm gonna ask you to do is wear your line pin. Wear it all the time, so somebody asks you, what is that? You say Lions Club. You say, what is that? And you can give them your 10-second elevator speech. Okay, so wear your pin, and thank you for all being here. And if you haven't signed the golf balls for Jeff, please come up and sign them, because we have a lot more balls to sign. And he can tell us when he loses whose ball, or when he gets a hole in one with whose ball, right? But I was told that he only uses the cheap balls on certain holes. So probably the par three with water, right? Thanks for all being here. Please get home safe. June 10th. We'd love to have you. Anybody they can contact. Brent, you get another email reminding about the June 10th project. We'd love to build 60 more beds. We've also donated $1,250 from our fund to buy the mattresses and the bedding and the pillows for those beds. Because without that, they're sleeping on hardwood. So, thank you. Get home safe.
Thanks for coming.